Thanks again to Ken Levica for joining us. Of course, every guest on ZASLOW Show 2.0 is brought to us by Johnny Cuba. And where can you pick up that new Johnny Cuba picante sauce made with the finest Jamaican peppers? You know I'm going to tell you about Broward Meat and Fish, one of our newest sponsors. Broward Meat and Fish, I'm so thrilled to have them aboard. Let me tell you a little bit more about Broward Meat and Fish. I mean, we're not just talking picking up that Johnny Cuba picante hot sauce there. Although, oh my God, I love it so much. I got a case in my closet right now. I'm never going to run out. At Broward Meat and Fish, and you can find the location nearest you, browardmeatandfish.com. If you love good food, stop what you're doing right now. You might fall over. Everything I'm about to tell you, you're going to be super excited. We all want the best quality when we're prepping for our next meal, and that's why I'm telling you about Broward Meat and Fish. It's your one-stop shop for all the fresh, not just meat and seafood, produce, frozen foods, freshly prepared hot food, deli meats and cheeses, wine. You're doing a full selection shop. All your groceries you're getting at Broward Meat and Fish. That's right, I was at Broward Meat and Fish. First time I went there was a few weeks ago. I was there with my man Juan. We were repping Johnny Cuba, that's right. I couldn't believe the selection, the greatest selection of meat and fish in one place I have ever seen. It was almost outrageous. And here's the best part. Whatever cut you select, the butchers and the fishmongers at their full-service meat and seafood counter, they're going to prepare your selection exactly the way that you want it. You're going to get that perfect cut, the freshest flavor and quality. You know what I'm talking about. And here's also the thing. At Broward Meat and Fish, they specialize in serving the Caribbean and Latin community. Here in South Florida for almost 30 years, they have all the products that remind everyone where they came from. The shelves at Broward Meat and Fish are stocked with all kinds of international brands, including Jamaica, Haiti, Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Peru. We got one right here by me in Pembroke Pines. The newest one just opened a few weeks ago, grand opening in Margate. BrowardMeatandFish.com. You'll thank me later. Let's get to big deal or not a big deal. Yes, you know it, all the big stories that we haven't been able to get to throughout the main portion of the show, we make sure we fit them all in now. Now look, if you're dealing with water, mold, or fire damage to your home or business, is it a big deal? Is it not a big deal? Look, I don't know, but I'll tell you who does. Water Cleanup of Florida. That's right, my guys, the Greensteins, Water Cleanup of Florida, 24 hours a day, they're waiting to tell you if it's a big deal or not a big deal. With over 60 years of combined experience, their team is prepared to handle any size property damage disaster. When an unexpected damage occurs to your home or business, you need specialized, fast, and reliable services. That's why I'm sending you to Water Cleanup of Florida. They know the impact and the stress that this will cause. Their entire objective is to make the cleanup and the insurance claim as painless and hassle-free as possible. Call or text Water Cleanup of Florida anytime, 954-900-8635. Call or text 954-900-8635 or visit WCUFL.com. Water Cleanup of Florida, they'll tell you if it's a big deal. Big deal or not a big deal. All right, first up here. So, the World Baseball Classic is over. It wasn't for me. It's not my thing, but it seems like a lot of people, I know a lot of people really enjoyed it. One of the people who did not enjoy it was my guy, and also Wednesday guest on ESPN's First Take, Christopher Mad Dog Russo.
Dog, how special was that final?
Can I throw cold water on this, please? Stevie, can I throw a little cold water on this? May I?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I don't really want you
Can
to,
I?
but you can.
Go ahead.
Right, listen.
Go ahead. I'll follow up. Go ahead.
Ohtani's great. Did a great job.
Phenomenal.
Hits.
Phenomenal.
Comes on. So let's leave him. Can I leave him alone and put him on the side for a second? We're going to make this out to be an epic at bat. Really? What is Gibson and Eckersley then in the World Series in Game 1 when Gibson hobbled around the bases and hit the home run against Eckersley, Dodgers A's in '88, one of the great home runs in the history of baseball.
World Series. Absolutely.
Okay, but hold it now. Did you see the headlines today? Epic at bat. Incredible moment. What? Yeah, but why? Because they're teammates? I mean, and Trout does nothing but strike out. Trout struck out twice in the game. He strikes out. You know, everybody talks to me about Trout and DiMaggio. I mean, Trout strikes out 175 times a year. Plus the fact. Are you looking at me? Look at me. Look at me. Don't look at the ground. Look at me. Plus the fact It was 2 out, nobody on. The game was awful. That game was a bad game. I was bored stiff. It was 2 outs, nobody on. And the game was, it wasn't like the bases were loaded. It wasn't like he was the winning run at the plate. It wasn't like he fouled any off pitches.
Now look, Dog's a baseball guy. He's my guy. He's a baseball guy. He comes off as a bit of a curmudgeon here. Everyone can see that. But I will tell you, he does have a point. It was a dramatic finish, Ohtani and Trout. But it was not an epic finish for all the reasons that he listed there. No one on base. It wasn't like it wasn't a 10, 11 pitch at bat. I mean, Trout looked pretty overmatched, to be honest with you. You got to consider the stakes. I mean, I know a lot of people, it was a very big deal to a lot of people, but it's not like the World Cup, you know? So, dramatic finish, but not an epic finish. So I'm going not a big deal. I'm going Dog's take there. Not a big deal. Big deal or not a big deal? So Cam Newton. Cam Newton wants back in the NFL. Cam Newton, he threw yesterday, I believe it was, at Auburn's Pro Day. But here's why this is not a big deal. Cam Newton's done with, first of all, he's not an NFL starting quarterback anymore. And he says, there aren't 32 mother effers better than me. The real statement should have been, there aren't 64 mother effers better than me, because he's not a starter. But here's the thing, and here's why he will not get a job in the NFL. He starts out by saying there aren't 32 guys better than me. So whatever team brings him in knows that there's going to be drama when he's the backup quarterback, because he's already gone on record saying the guy who's in front of him is not better than him. And nobody's interested in that kind of drama from their backup quarterback. So this is not a big deal. Cam Newton has no chance of getting back into the NFL, and the way he's going about it makes it so. There aren't 32 guys better than me. Well, that's why we can't sign you, because that's not what we need out of our backup quarterback. Big deal or not a big deal? Tonight, so the Panthers, we know, play a huge game. We've talked about this. The Penguins, they're back ahead of the Panthers after they won last night in Colorado, where they're playing the second night of a back-to-back, the Penguins. 9 p.m. TNT, if you want to keep an eye on that. Penguins at Stars. The Stars are really good. It's the second night of a back-to-back for Pittsburgh. That's a big deal. I'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. Finally here, big deal or not a big deal? Scott Van Pelt last night. You know he hosts SportsCenter after whatever game is on in the evening. Comes on usually around 11 o'clock. Well, he's going over his highlights and live on air. He's going over Connor McDavid scored his 60th goal for the Oilers. Loses his voice.
You're wondering, can he make it? Will he be able to make it to the end?
Can he do it?
I don't know. Connor McDavid, leading the NHL in goals. This is terrible. I'm trying. This is what a disaster.
He's got 58 on the year.
Thank you, Steve. He's about to be 59. It's off the man's head.
It is. Another view, you see it right off the goalie's back of his head.
There you go. McDavid. Ridiculous goal number 59. This is a catastrophe. I never thought this would happen.
Oh, that's rough. I'll tell you, that's a big deal. Scott Van Pelt, he's powering through. I got to give him a lot of credit right there. I'll go big deal right there, Scott Van Pelt. And that right there is another edition of Big Deal or Not a Big Deal, brought to us by Water Cleanup of Florida. Call or text Water Cleanup of Florida anytime, 954-900-8635. That's 954-900-8635. If you find water, mold, or fire damage in your home or business, hey, that could be a big deal. All right. Great job by everybody involved in the show today. We got the tournament is back. Thanks to Ken Levicka. We got FAU tonight. Tomorrow, can we wake up tomorrow with the Panthers back in the wild card spot with an FAU win and with the Lady Canes and men's basketball team getting ready for Sweet 16 action? Oh, this could be a very big weekend. I'm not going to spoil if that's in big game or not a big game. Hey, make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. I love you long time. We'll talk to you on ZASLOW Show 2.0 tomorrow. You know what that means.